Dear Pedart, we met briefly quite recently in Beijing, and we have also spoken several times by phone. I would like to begin our meeting with the most sensitive topic, the aviation tragedy that occurred in our skies. Even during our first telephone conversation, I not only expressed my apologies that this tragedy happened in Russian airspace, but also conveyed my most sincere condolences to the families of the victims. I would like to reiterate all of that once again and say that, as we agreed, we have provided every possible assistance in the investigation. The investigation is coming to an end, and now we can, in general terms, speak about the causes of this tragedy, this catastrophe. It is linked to several factors. The first is that a Ukrainian drone was in the sky. We tracked 3 such drones that crossed the Russian border on the night of the tragedy. The second reason lies in a technical malfunction within Russia's air defense system. 2 missiles that were launched did not directly hit the aircraft. If they had, it would have crashed immediately. Instead, they detonated, possibly due to a self-destruction mechanism at a distance of around 10 meters. Therefore, the damage to the plane was caused not primarily by the warhead fragments, but most likely by debris from the explosions themselves. That is why the pilot initially thought it was a bird strike, which he reported to Russian air traffic controllers. This is all recorded in the so-called black boxes. He was also instructed, and this, too, is in the recordings, to complete the approach to Makachkala. However, he decided to return to his base, and then to Kazakhstan. Nevertheless, the facts remain, and the causes of the tragedy, as I have just presented them to you, are reflected in the documents after a detailed technical analysis and second-by-second review of the black box data. We also discussed this topic later. Without question, everything that must be done in such tragic cases will be done by the Russian side, including compensation, and a legal assessment of the actions of all responsible officials. Of course, words of moral support to the families cannot solve the main problem. They cannot bring back those who lost their lives in this tragedy. But, as I repeat once again, we agreed from the very beginning to ensure an objective assessment of everything that happened and to identify the true causes. This requires some time to finalize, and perhaps some additional details will emerge later. But overall, I have now presented to you the information I received literally on the eve of our meeting, yesterday, the day before, and even late last night. I called Moscow to check if there were any new details. What I am telling you now is essentially everything that is known.
Позавчера еще даже, честно говоря, сегодня ночью я звонил в Москву и спрашивал, есть ли какие-то дополнительные детали. Ну, практически все, что мне известно, я вам рассказал. Вот это первая часть. Вторая, хотел бы отметить, что несмотря на это наши
That is the first part. The second thing I would like to note is that, despite this tragedy, our mutual interests in many spheres remain very close and significant, particularly in trade and economic cooperation. Despite the complications related to this incident, our trade and economic relations have continued to grow successfully. Last year, trade increased by about 16%, and this year by over 16% as well, a very good indicator. Thanks to your attention to this matter, our humanitarian ties have always remained at a high level. We will discuss that as well, and we are grateful to you for it. Of course, we will also do everything from our side to maintain this positive dynamic. Naturally, we will also discuss the situation in the region and international affairs. Our foreign ministries have always worked closely together, and I hope this cooperation will not only continue but strengthen. In the spirit of our partnership and alliance, we always remember the treaty that was signed not long ago, and we will do everything possible to implement all of its key provisions. Thank you.
Всегда работали очень плотно друг с другом. Я надеюсь, что это сотрудничество будет не просто восстановлено, а продолжится в духе наших отношений, в духе нашего союзничества. Мы никогда об этом не забываем, помним о том договоре, который был не так давно подписан, и со своей стороны будем делать все для того, чтобы реализовывать все его основные положения. Благодарю вас.
Thank you very much, Vladimir Vladimirovich. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for this meeting. As you mentioned, we spoke briefly in Beijing, and just 2 days ago I called you to congratulate you on your birthday. I would like to take this opportunity once again to wish you and your loved ones all the very best, and to convey my best wishes to the friendly people of Russia. We are especially grateful for the detailed information you have provided regarding the tragic incident of December last year, when the aircraft of Azerbaijan Airlines crashed. We were in contact immediately. As you may recall, on that tragic day I was on my way to a meeting in St. Petersburg, and when I was informed of the crash, I called you directly from the plane. We expressed our condolences to one another. I also asked you to inform our colleagues, who were attending that event, that for objective reasons I would not be able to take part in the informal CIS summit. I want to thank you personally for keeping this situation under your direct control. As we have discussed many times, and as our teams remain in constant contact, we have no doubt that the investigation will be fully objective. So once again, thank you for raising this issue during our meeting. As you noted, not only our trade and economic relations, but also all other areas of cooperation have been developing successfully this year. As you mentioned, the growth in trade turnover is showing good dynamics, and in other areas as well there has been no slowdown or regression. On the contrary, the roadmaps we have approved are being successfully implemented. Recently, a meeting of the Russian-Azerbaijani Intergovernmental Commission was held, where the co-chairs discussed a wide range of issues, not only trade and economic matters. Today's meeting is also a good opportunity to go through our broad and positive agenda once again. So, once again, thank you for this information, and I am confident that the messages we are sending to our societies today will be received positively. Thank you.
Спасибо.